Do you want to write together? I'm offering a small writing group for the month of November. Writing can be lonely, and it's hard to be accountable sometimes only to ourselves. For 1 month, we are going to support each other in expressing ourselves bravely and beautifully, because our voices matter more than ever. See the link in the show notes for details. I'd love to have you. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to share what I'm going to share today. I'm going to offer you a solution, a proposed solution, but a very workable solution to a big problem, and a problem that falls right in the heart of what the Aliveness podcast does: technology and soul. And by technology, I don't just mean smartphones, AI, microchips. I mean things that we use, tools, ways of doing things. This is a problem I have been thinking about for months. I mean, years, but definitely months. And it has risen to the top of my concerns as I start publishing again and start watching what happens to my brain, to other people's brains, right at the same time that we have had political violence in the United States, increasing geopolitical turmoil. So many things to think about. And how do we, everyday people, operate? All of us who use our phones. And then for the subset of us who create, some of us for the sake of creating, some of us to support ourselves, some of us to promote our services and our products, some of us for activism. There's so many different reasons we're here, but they're all being challenged. And this post isn't so much about the challenges, though I will go over them in brief. This post is about my proposed solution. So if you want to leap forward to the proposed solution, there is a timestamp in the show notes. But here's the preamble. Meta is ethically dead. Substack is fading. What comes next? How to stay connected when the platforms fail. Given the title and the topic of this piece, I am fascinated to see if this post will move on social media or not. So please consider giving it a boost with a like, a share, a comment, or a link in one of your posts. I call it digital philanthropy. Wherever you come across me, I would love your support. Below is a detailed proposal, easily implemented, that we can all do to connect with others, share our work, and take care of our mental health without social media platforms. Jump ahead to the timestamp linked in the show notes if you don't need to be convinced we have a problem or don't care about how I got to writing this piece this morning. I had a dream last night that Sam Altman was taking ketamine in Hall's lozenges. If you're new to me, ketamine almost killed me. Altman is known to appreciate drugs. Musk uses ketamine so much it is impacting his bladder, i.e., he's using it a lot. I try not to scroll social media first thing, but synchronistically, I had a message I had to respond to, so I saw Sarah Faye's comment on Substack's post. Note what happened there. Instant early morning distraction from purpose. Sarah Faye shares a blog from Substack on demystifying the feed. We're optimizing for signups and subscriptions, quote, I really want this to be true, she writes. The easiest way to do this, it seems, would be to privilege restacks of posts. But unless you're famous, our posts get in front of pretty much no one. And she tags Substack, the Substack team, and Hamish McKenzie. Then I remembered I had a comment on YouTube related, and I went and saw my friend Juan's comment, and he said, I love all this creative output, Alison, as well as the conversations you're starting. I find myself struggling with social media too. I really need to curtail my personal use and at the same time need to more actively create content to promote my work, especially in my new home. Cry, cry, cry emoji. I took this as a synchronistic moment that I've been thinking about this, and I keep hearing other people who I haven't spoken to in some time, we're not in the same group, saying the same thing. And then on LinkedIn, every day, some form of this. This is from Cindy Gallup. There is a whole group of people talking about the algorithm, about bias. There's many, many different angles to this, but there is evidence on both Substack and LinkedIn that the suppression of views has been happening since about spring. There are many conversations about what this is due to, many different opinions. The comment that she shares ends with the following. This is weaponized code determining who has access to capital, social, human, and financial, impacting the value of every company, ultimately determining the GDP of the nation. And this is a very LinkedIn perspective. It's very, very important. Women receive vastly less funding than men, and women founders, including very experienced ones with business models that are very strong, that have a lot more behind them than many others, continually get passed over for funding. So this is a very serious issue in terms of power. My personal exit started with Meta, which is an obvious no-go if we're going to think about ethics. Privacy is zero. Don't give them your camera access, by the way. They're now using it to train AI. Misinformation, election interference, child welfare in too many horrible ways to count, AI companionship gone wrong. Read the link in the show notes to an article by Kelly Stonelake. Her whole Substack is about truth to power, activism against the unnecessary evil of social media. Kelly left Meta and is such an inspirational, courageous figure in this field. Highly recommend following Kelly. The loss of Meta in its previous form, where we all used to connect with each other, is a huge loss. It's where we all connected with anyone we ever knew. Remember when you used to find the person you knew in high school that you never thought you'd talk to again because the only way to find them was the phone book? That was Facebook. And this is a loss of our earned networks. And there are many legitimate reasons to stay. Especially groups for parental and health support in various areas. But I don't have any reasons, so I left. I might return to post this piece. I don't want to lose all my friends. But right now I'm not posting on Facebook. I have a fake account for logins, and I'm not on Instagram at all. Then began the whispers on TikTok from creators saying they can't say certain things. I'm not a creator there, so I didn't go deep on this one, but I noticed it. But then LinkedIn, Substack, the playfield's so obviously uneven. I've seen massive changes in my reach in the past year. There isn't one reason for the problems. There's AI with its embedded bias, the attention economy, surveillance capitalism, more obvious political influence. And we're definitely not going to agree on all the reasons, but it's clear that social media is less and less social, and the list of harms is growing. We humans want to connect, to learn, to offer our work to the world in so many different ways. It's a dark time. Layoffs and a brutal job market, political polarization, and minimal ways to connect with each other. No surprise we're talking to ChatGPT. But we mustn't. See the link in the show notes to my post last week on the dangers of ChatGPT for companionship and therapy. Solutions to this whole problem that I've heard so far include committing to real life, local connections. This is absolutely the way. No question about it. We all should be doubling down on our local connections. And at the same time, I made my first online to in real life friend on AOL studying for the CFA exam in 1997. Since then, I've met and kept in touch with countless people all over the world that I would never have met if it weren't for the. I'm not willing to give up these connections that have changed my life just because the platforms are failing us. Solution number 2, there are alternative platforms. Blue Sky, Tribella, Mastodon, PixelFed, Web3 platforms such as Base and Farcaster. I'm on Blue Sky and Base, links in the show notes, though I don't post much on Base. I'm keeping my eye on the others. Online communities, from Signal group chats to Discord and Mighty Networks, a small group of aligned people is powerful. I commit to 2 communities right now and try to be in there every other day in place of the scroll. What follows is my proposal for one more key way we can connect with technology we all already have. Email. How to connect widely without social media. Here's the overview. Instead of scrolling social media feeds, you're going to have a separate email address that you scroll. This way, you are intentional about what you consume in those moments when you desire that scroll, when you want the cross-fertilization of ideas, when you feel like flowing with it. A form of scrolling entertainment, you do it on your email, which becomes a feed. And you keep this email separate from all other emails. I'll tell you more below. For creators, we invest more in our emails and learning how to communicate by email and making emails enjoyable to read, shareable, etc. Now, here are the details. I bet you're already doing pieces of this. It's just about thinking more broadly about the why of it and committing to doing it together. For all of us. 1. Create or use a different email address than your usual for email newsletters. I use xxxx.subs@gmail.com, for example, to let me know that's my subs email address. Instead of, or in addition to following people on social media or subscribing on Substack, sign up for their emails. This email address should not receive anything time-sensitive or personally important, just people you like to follow. Note to Substackers. Make this email your Substack email, so you'll receive your Substack subscriptions to this email as well. But be careful of this if you actually write on Substack, as some people have had problems with split accounts and other issues. I would check with Substack help for details before doing that. Okay, so you have a different email address for your newsletters. When you visit that email inbox, visit it as if it was a feed, which it is. You can create rules and folders and use AI tools, whatever you like. But nothing comes into that email address is anything other than information. No deadlines, no bills, no stakes. Your dopamine lives here now. Intentionally redo your media habits to include your feed inbox. One recommendation is to put this inbox onto your phone using a separate email app. This becomes where you go for the scroll. 3, like and comment on the creator's website if that's available. Some creators may publish content on their websites that you can interact with. It takes a minute to click and engage, but you will have less volume in your email feed, so if something moves you, be generous. Finally, number 4, share. Share emails with your friends. Copy sign-up links, sign-up links and content links into group chats and texts. Sharing is philanthropy for the kind of world you want to live in. Now for creators. This method requires that we connect with people more deeply. It asks more of us, and it is deeply fruitful far beyond vanity metrics because the connection is deeper. 1, have an email newsletter. You will start small and it will grow over time as you connect with people. I recommend Kit, and there's a link in the show notes. It's not a referral link to start because it's free up to 10,000 subscribers if you keep things simple. It also has a solid creator profit ethos list. Remember that you can export your Substack subscribers to your list. 2, post the sign-up link to that email newsletter on your social profiles and posts or comments. This works. 3, give people a reason to sign up. You've seen this before in the form of lead magnet, 5 secrets, 7 mistakes, e-courses, guides. This works for some creators, but we are not limited to this kind of pain point itching. You could offer something in the spirit of, I know you're human and sometimes you need a nudge, and I have this to offer from my heart, such as a playlist or an audio meditation, or here's my version. Subscribe to Arrows for Life, it's free, and receive the Untamed book list, a dangerous, hyper-curated list of my favorite outside the system reads. Link in the show notes to subscribe. Subscribers who respond to pain points are different from subscribers who respond to little gifts. Just like in the real world, being intentional and trustworthy about how we do things online influences the relationships we create. Note to Substackers, when someone signs up for your Substack, it is as good as them signing up for your email list. You can use the reason to sign up right here in Substack and fulfill your promise in the welcome email you send them upon subscription. You can see how I do this above. 4, important. Share the work of other creators, service providers, stores. Make it a habit. Embed their work in yours with attribution. I am adding a calendar item to make sure that I share what I consume every single week. 5, learn how to encourage sharing. This is a technical and social task. First, make it easy to share your newsletter and ensure there is a nice social image on the link. Then, pay attention to making work that people want to share. It's a whole field of creation that I am diving into deeply. 6, engagement will move to emails, and if you have them on your website, comments. You will be spending more time here with your people and less time on feeds. Consider if you want to add blog-style engagement to your website. 7, revise your monetization strategy. This is likely to be fewer paid subscribers but higher value transactions as your connection deepens. You can still offer subscription newsletters. Kit offers this feature. You'll always pay a transaction fee. It's a worthwhile question as to who you pay it to. Other options for monetization include products, services such as workshops, courses, and coaching, affiliate sales, memberships, etc. 8, as you grow, learn about list segmentation. This means not every email subscriber gets every email. Your superfans want more than your less regular but still committed subscribers. You may write on different topics. Don't go overboard and don't do this too soon, but it's the next step in serving your people. This works when we all do it regularly. One link to another creator is nice, but people respond to repetition. We need to keep sharing, keep cross-pollinating, keep communicating, so it becomes a way of life, so it becomes a way of being. This takes time. There is no instant fix, only a gorgeous gestation into a new way of connecting with so many amazing people around the world who find each other through this magic we call the internet. We will have to reset our inner vanity metrics. Followers are less valuable than email subscribers. Subscribers are welcoming you into their inbox. There will be less of them, but they will be closer. We will revise our relationship to clout. You are unlikely to know if someone you are reading or sharing has a lot of subscribers or a few. We have to share based on what we find valuable or meaningful, not what's in. The platforms are not going to like this or encourage it, so we should use this time well. Every platform has its rocky relationship with allowing profile links, external links, etc. So be smart. Notice what happens. Right now, what works is to encourage people regularly onto your list in comments on your own posts and content pieces such as audio and video. Email does not eliminate the dopamine problem. It only reduces it. And our email feeds can become short-form reels in a tenth of a second once the overlords catch on. But we have time for now. A feed without hooks other than subject lines, a feed that cannot, for the most part, be intruded upon, that we can defend and nurture. If you look at my own tech stack, I have work to do. You will see me duplicate my Substack over to my website over the next few weeks. What this will require of us: dopamine detox. I'm an advocate for titration and never an advocate for moral judgment. Over time, as we release the scroll, we support others in doing so as well through sharing our experiences and creating from the grounded energy that comes from letting go of toxicity. Little by little, over time, as we release the scroll, we support others in doing so as well through sharing our experiences and creating from the grounded energy that comes from letting go of toxicity. Supporting, reminding, and educating each other. It's up to us what we pay attention to and how we communicate. Remember, it's all made up. Creators will have to learn a new tech stack. It's doable, I promise. Creators will have to offer deeper reasons to subscribe, stay, and share beyond a cute photo. But cute photos are still important. And learning this will be a benefit because it's learning how to connect. This will not happen overnight, but the way we all kind of know that we shouldn't hijack someone else's thread with our links, we can have these kinds of best practices too. Of signing up for each other's lists, giving each other space in our subscription inboxes, sharing widely, trying not to scroll like we try not to smoke. Too far? I don't think so. When I look around the world, witness, think, listen, and in the past 2 years I've had time to do more of that than I'd like, one conclusion seems painfully obvious. Social media is one of the core problems of our age. We have become separated, so much so we can barely speak to another person in real life who lives in separate internet worlds. We can't share music, let alone facts. Horrible behavior is normalized without consequence. Every single person in the arena trying to create a better world is trolled and harassed mercilessly, as are many non-public figures, including teenagers just coming into their own. Our mental health is suffering dramatically. We can barely stand scripted content such that they are making second screen content that takes into account the fact that many of us are scrolling while watching. Ugh, the times are tough, big decisions, much at stake. We need power, strength, presence, memory, focus, mood, and vitality. Scrolling supports none of these, and there are solutions, including this one. Moving to email collectively drastically reduces the evils of social media. We deserve better than living at the mercy of ketamine-fueled, grandiose delusions. We can do it for ourselves, and the earth, and our children, and our children's children. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please come into Substack and share your thoughts and actions in the comments. We can do it together. We all feel it. So much is changing. The way we think, the way we work, the way we pay attention. That's why I'm teaching 3 live classes this November. How to build an idea that holds weight. How to build a career when the job market no longer makes sense. And how to design your information diet so you don't go insane. 1 hour each, offering real tools as we learn by doing. Join me. Let's dig deep and find new responses to this world we're living in. See show notes for details.